Welcome to Tone Wars.
Hey guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate super chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the super chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jarrod's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome KEMPER profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular Helix, HX Effects, HX Stomp, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars.
I forgot to turn the camera on. Sorry, guys. What's going on, man? Oh, great to see you guys. So good to see you guys tonight. Want to thank. I'll come in the chat and say hello in a minute here. But I just wanted to give a little backstory on this. I want to thank Matt from Motor City. I came in today to, hunt for something to try tonight, and I've passed by this several times at the store. And I've tried the Splawn Quick Rod before, and my friend Darren Moore brought it over, and it's great for that classic rock kind of thing, the Marshall, the old, like the old school kind of Marshall tones, and it does it really well. Doesn't do what I need it to do, but what it does do, it does very well. So a lot of respect for that. And so ever since then, I was kind of like, well, I guess that's what Splawn amps are. I wasn't thinking properly, though. I didn't know any better. So I was talking to Matt today, and he was like, dude, why don't you take the Nitro home? And I'm like, isn't that kind of like the, just like another, like the Quick Rod? And he's like, oh, no. He goes, if this doesn't have the aggression and gain you need, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm like, all right. So we looked up a couple of comments about it, and we were kind of laughing because people are like, this thing crushes fools, It's kind of funny. So I was like, you know what? I'll try it, and as soon as I got it home and fired it up, I was absolutely floored with how aggressive this amp is. This thing is sick. I mean, it is just sick. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have some fun tonight with it. So hopefully my playing is up to par and I do it justice. But I'm telling you guys, this amp is freaking amazing, absolutely amazing. Like the top end, it's got tons of low end. I mean, tons. Like, it's like got that Mesa, like, rectifier, fat bomber low end, but it's got this really nice, crumbly, dry, but still has a little bit of a wetness to it top end. It's not super dry. It's just dry enough, like EVH territory, but the pick attack on it sounds like you're double tracking. I mean, it sounds like you're playing, every attack sounds like two guitars. I mean, it's so thick on top. So absolutely amazing amp, and the link is below if you want to get one from Motor City. They ship anywhere in the US, and you don't pay sales tax if you buy it outside the state of Michigan. And this will be back in the store tomorrow. You can even have this one. I am highly considering getting one myself. I'm not kidding you. Within 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my god, this thing is sick. So, and let that be a lesson to me, but I'll share my lesson that I learned with you guys. Like, if you go and play a certain brand of amplifier and you don't dig it, or it doesn't do what you need it to do, but they make under that umbrella a bunch of different amps, play those. Because, you know, I mean, every brand has several iterations of amps. You know, they'll have the real high gain ones, the classic rock ones, the cleanish, the pedal platforms. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that they make. So give at least 3 or 4 of their amps a try before you make up your mind about going, well, that brand doesn't work for me. Because I honestly thought Splawn, I thought it was a good amp. I always thought they were really good, but I didn't know if Splawn was going to be the metal territory that I needed it to be in until I played this. This thing is stupid good. It's got the giant, you know, milk bottles in the back, the freaking KT88s, big O tubes, and man, it just crushes. It's got so much freaking aggression and texture. The chugs, I'm not kidding you, man. It's like, oh, it's ridiculous. I'll play it in a minute. 17, all right. Jason Taylor, what's happened to Gunnerman 54? Jason was asking about a JP2C. He's got a chance to get one. Yeah, dude. I like mine. Mine's amazing. They're great amps. So if you have a chance to get one, you get a good deal on it. Freaking go for it, bro. And let me know how you like it. James Miller says, EVH Killer, you have my attention. Yeah, man, this thing, seriously, it's in EVH territory as far as the aggression and the top end goes, but it has more bottom end than the EVHs I've been playing anyways. This thing is just ridiculous. Sean Hockey, what's happened? He says, honestly, at first I thought this was a pressure washing joke. Spray the lawn kind of thing, but I guess I'm wrong. Never heard of before. Oh, the Splawn. Yeah, it's. I'm not kidding you, man. Scott Splawn makes some good stuff, man. It's gonna be interesting. Henry Guthrie, thanks for the demo on this beast. As a Nitro owner, this amp is big time under the radar and hardly gets any love. Amp is stupid loud, but it's amazing. Can't wait to hear you playing an opinion on it. Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like it's a sleeper, I guess, because I haven't heard. I've heard of the Nitro, but I've never heard anybody really talk about it and sing its praises. But we're gonna sing its praises tonight. I'm not kidding you guys. Don't underestimate this amp. This thing is an absolute rage monster. It's a drunken brawler. It's just, you know, it's just ridiculous, man. Matt Forrest, what's happening, buddy? And again, thank you so much, Matt, for the suggestion. He's got good suggestions. I'm just going to listen to Matt from now on. I'm just going to go in there and say, tell me what to review, bro. Because everything he points at is amazing. Brad Shimke. Wow, just had a flashback of the band Nitro. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll hit some high notes. Hide your wine glasses, because I'm going to shatter them all tonight. Paul Smith, what's happening, buddy? Is the Splawn a hot-rodded Marshall, Jason's asking. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what all of them are, but this one is more in EVH territory. I mean, everything's a hot-rodded Marshall, I guess, right? You know, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question, but this is... If it's hot-rodded, it's definitely souped up towards the EVH territory, because it reminds me of an EVH, but it's just more tailored. There's a tailoring to it that's just amazing, especially with the top end. It's insane. Scott Fulmar, what's happening, man? Jason Taylor says, oh, okay, just butting in on your conversation there. Matt Nolan, what's happening? There he is. How are you? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Darren Moore, hey Jarrod, excited to hear you on the Splawn. JJ's House of Jams. Super Juggerwatt. This is quite the control tower you got, bro. Yeah, it's surrounded by horsepower, you know? Yeah. Ooh, I got my camera off a little. Oh well, the angle's a little crooked, but that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, man, I'll be having a really sweet amp switcher here at KHE in a couple weeks, hopefully. Can't wait to hook that up. Darren Moore says, a quick rod is definitely for more old school hot rod plexi stuff. Nails the Van Halen the Van Halen style sound. Great for people interested in the 80s rock. Yeah, you're right. The quick rod is definitely that. the Nitro is definitely like modern. It's modern metal. It'll gent, it'll chug, it'll shred, it'll do it all. I mean, this thing is stupid good. And it loves overdrive pedals. This thing loves an overdrive. It gets really, really like thick and meaty at the top. Like you get this really nice attack. So, Warm Chord, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Ooh, Mr. Mislowski, what's up? What a sleeper gem you're reviewing, Jarrod. What's up, buddy? Good to see you here as always. Yeah, it's a sleeper. I would have never thought, you know, would have never thought. Matt Forrest, time to crush some fools. We were reading, it was funny, I was telling them guys earlier, we were reading some reviews of it on the gear page. He's like, well, let's just see what people are saying about it. And they're like, yeah, it's got better mids than the EVH. This thing crushes fools. We're like dying. I'm like, you had me at crushes fools, man. Let's get it. Let's throw it in the car. Mike says KHE is the bomb. Yeah, it is, dude. I'm going to get the one that does 8 amps, and it does the effects loops for all 8 of them, and 4 cabinets. So I'm about to turn this command center into like freaking command central ridiculousness down here. I can't wait, man. Greetings from Germany. What's up, Sven? What's happening? And cheers, everybody. I'm having my typical old-fashioned tonight. Cheers. All right. I know what you're thinking. Shut the hell up and play that amp. Okay. Give me a second. Let me turn off the room mic, and we are going to go. I got off time there. Hang on. Oh, that's so much fun to play. Yeah, it's stringy. It's kind of stringy and tight, but very aggressive all at the same time. Lots of good bottom end. I got the mids kind of pushed on it. I mean, this amp it's got good mids. Like when you push the mids, it doesn't get honky, you know. It doesn't sound like, you know, I mean, it sounds great, you know. I got the bass down quite a bit because, man, I'm not kidding you, this amp has tons of low end to spare. You know, this thing went to Fatburger before they put it in the box. Yeah, and I got the gain at about 1 o'clock, you know, because gain, you know, it'll sound great at 1 o'clock. I'll go through the settings in a few. So I just have it on the regular overdrive section, and it's got an overdrive 1 and 2. I haven't had a chance to really read up on that. I think 2 is, I don't know, it feels like it's got a little more bottom end or something. I don't know. Let me switch between those now. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm on overdrive 1 right now, so I'm going to switch to overdrive 2. You'll see me when I push this switch over here. It's on overdrive too. Okay, 1 second. Well, I'm going to leave it on overdrive 2 for now. It seems like it's a little fuller with that. So, you know me, I love everything as full as it can be. So, why not, right? It sounds great, though. Yeah. It's funny, like, you go with some amps and they have these switches and stuff, and some of the differences are so subtle. It's like, why did they put that there? But this is not that subtle. It's fuller. Like, I can feel it and I can hear it here. I don't know if the YouTube compression will show that, but yeah, it's pretty damn full. But yeah, I think this amp's great. Honestly, guys, like, this is a very, as far as I know, I don't know a ton about it, but I haven't heard a bunch about it, but this is a pretty underrated amp. It needs more love, like the one guy was saying. Like, this thing, seriously, this should be on your shelf. It should be a great option for you. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Oh my God. Every pick attack, like even in a mix, you can hear the pick attacking the strings. It's got so much scrape and so much thickness and like aggression, and it's just an attack. It's just amazing. I'd love to see the transients that this amp makes when you record with it. When you're doing your palm mutes and stuff, the transients have to sound like Godzilla's heartbeat, you know? I mean, it's got to be insane. And they probably look like that, you know, when they're going by. I mean, it's just incredible. Very, very cool amp. Let's see here. So much low end, Paul says. Yeah, there's just a ton. And I got the resonance down to 11 o'clock, and I got the bass down to 9 o'clock on this thing. I mean, it's just pounding, man. Super Juggernaut. That sounds insane. It does, dude. Like, seriously. And here's the thing, too. Like, I probably should have spent more time adjusting the mics, because I feel like I could have done a little better job. I don't know. Maybe not. But the mics aren't doing it justice. Like, in the room, this thing is just... It's just mammoth sounding. It's huge. Yeah, so, I mean, guys, I'm not kidding you. Like, I don't gush about, you know, every amp that I have on the show, but I'm gushing about this right now, because it's just stupid good. It really is. The KT88s, right when I saw that, I mean, Matt flipped it around for me. I'm like, oh my God, it's got KTs, man. He's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, and it's like you could fry a steak on this thing right now. Yeah, on the top. It's actually got grill. It might be some pretty cool grill marks on the steak. Sorry, Matt. This comes back with a little steak residue on it, but I might have to give that a whirl. But yeah, I love the KT88s. I got them in my Ingle, and it just gives it a special sound, a special kind of fullness and aggression, or I don't know what it's doing, but there's some magic in those tubes, man. And there's a lot of glass behind this thing. So yeah, really, really freaking cool. Really cool. I'm becoming a big fan of KT88s. Because every time I get an amp with them, it's just an amazing amp. So I'm digging it. Let's see here. James Miller, first amp that could compete with the Rev generator. You know, it's possible. You know, because the Rev is a very tight amp. This thing's pretty tight too. You know, I feel like this might be a little more aggressive than the Rev, but I could be wrong, because I haven't played one in a while. I'd have to have them side by side. But, man, this thing's really, like, it's totally knocking my socks off right now. Let me do this. Overdrive pedal's off. I'm going to play a couple of dumb riffs, and I'll turn it on and off. You'll see me turn it on. You'll see me hit the pedal, but it's off right now. So I'll do a riff without it and then with it. go. I mean, it loves the overdrive pedal. I'll do the same thing with the overdrive 1 setting. That was overdrive 2. I'll go back down to overdrive 1 and do the same thing. Sorry about that. Sometimes when I mute the mic, it takes a second. I hate that. Yeah, I think it sounds better without the overdrive on overdrive 1 and with the overdrive on overdrive 2, if that makes sense. It seems like on overdrive 2 it's a little fuller and it likes the overdrive better there. So, but yeah, I mean, it really cuts through a mix good. I checked the mixes earlier and it cuts through really well. And again, I can hear the pick hitting the strings, especially on the palm mutes and the chugs. Like, it's really aggressive, and I love that because you can hear every hit so well. Very impressive amplifier. I mean, it's, you know, it's a boutique amp, and they don't charge a lot. You know, this thing's like $2,000. $2,000 for a Splawn Nitro with KT88s in it. It's 2 channels, and the clean channel on it's awesome. So it's like, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, there's amp builders out there charging twice as much for 1 channel. So, what a great deal on that. And it's got the KT88s in it, which isn't typical. You know, a lot of these amps that are even twice as much, you know, they got the ELs or the, you know, the 6L6, which are also great tubes. But, I mean, KT88s, you know, I mean, you got freaking, like I said, you got milk bottles back there. It's freaking awesome. So, not bad. Not a bad deal at all, and I would recommend it. If someone came to me right now, hey, would you recommend, you know, the Splawn? I'd be like, hell yeah, I would. I'd totally recommend this amp. It's freaking awesome. Warm Core says, I dig the red knobs. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, so let's see here. Oh, Darren says, just from listening, he says his Splawn Quick Rod and the Nitro share the same string attack quality to them. Absolutely amazing sounding. Wow. Yeah, man, just a lot of great attack. I mean, it's just amazing, you know. You could use that amp to heat up your house. I know, dude. It's like there's some heat rolling out of this thing right now. It's pretty crazy. James Miller always sounds better with the OD. Absolutely, man. OD pedals they're God's gift to guitar players, man. I freaking love them. I love an amp that's fat enough that when you slam it with an overdrive, it doesn't sound choked. Don't make tight amps. Make fat amps, and let us shape that tone the way we like it. That's what I would always tell an amp builder. In this one, it's fat, and on its own, it still sounds really good. It's not flubby, but there's enough room there to shape that low end, and you can have some really good low end in it. So, you know, it's insane, man. Let's see here. Catch up to you guys. Mark Grant, what's up, buddy? He says, I had one with KT88 tubes and couldn't gel with it. Sterile and stiff, but that's what some are looking for in certain playing styles, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Like, if you're like I guess like me, like I do a lot of palm mutes and chuggy kind of stuff. I love that, you know, I love that attack. I like big fat amps, and it's got that stringiness to it for gent and like more of the tighter players too. But if you're you want to ride out some big chords and stuff like that, it'll do that really well. But maybe for guys like that, they might want like what Darren has, like the Quick Rod, or maybe something completely different. But for what I do, this thing really, it fits the need big time. And again, guys, I'm not kidding you. Like, I mic'd it up. I moved the mics really quick, did a couple touch-ups on the mix and everything, and kind of left it at that. And but what I did is not doing it justice. In the room, every one of you would be like, holy crap, this thing sounds amazing. it's just so full and fat, and there's just tons of attack on the top end. I love it. I think it sounds incredible, you know. So let's do this. Let me run through the gain settings. So right now I have the gain at it's probably a little over 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna go 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then all the way up. I'll do it with the overdrive off first, and in overdrive 1, and then I'll do it with the overdrive on after that, and then I'll go to overdrive 2 and do the same thing. So again, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock cranked, pedal off, and then I'll do the same thing, pedal on. Here we go. Okay, so there you have it. I prefer overdrive pedal on with overdrive 2 setting on the foot switch. You know, that's what I prefer because it's fuller. It's definitely fuller. I'm feeling it and hearing it in here. And you do have a solo boost. You have a separate volume for solos on here, so you can hit the solo boost and have a completely different volume there. And on the back you have an input where buttons you can lower or raise the input. I have it up, obviously. But for guys that have like the active pickups and stuff like that, you can lower that. And then of course you have the volume for the effects loop as well. So, yep, just absolutely killer, man. Just freaking great amp. Seriously. I love this thing. I think it's really, really freaking good. Let's check out the clean channel. Oh my god, turn off. Okay, so now let's try it with no effects. I'm going to turn off all the effects so you can hear it without any effects. 1 second. Great clean channel. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. Freaking amazing clean channel. So what I can do too is switch guitars. I have this guy here, which is down to like drop G. So, you know, I think it would be interesting to hear it with a drop tune guitar. And I think that this amp really represents the drop tunings very well because of that really awesome pick attack and top end that this amp has. I mean, drop tune guitars just sound amazing through it. They cut through the mix. They don't sound dull and flubby. There's a lot of life to the top end, and I find that with a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of amps, but with a good amount of them anyways, when I switch to this guitar, they get dull. There's like this dullness there, you know, and I'm like, man, you gotta increase the highs and do stuff, which is fine. Yeah, this is down to drop G, you know. But I'd rather just plug into an amp and not have to do much with it or anything, you know. And this amp, I'm not kidding you guys, like it really loves the drop tune guitars. It represents the sound very well, and I feel like I don't feel like I'm playing like a dull sounding guitar when I play this. There's plenty of pick attack. I mean, I'm not kidding you, like there's so much pick attack and aggression in this amp. It really thrives in that department on any guitar. 1 second. It's just so stringy and fat at the same time. That's probably the most attack I've ever had on an amplifier, to be honest with you. This has the most pick attack I've ever played. Really thick, but gnarly, like snarly kind of top end on it. It's just really good. Yeah, and I got my treble down. The treble's down to about 11 o'clock. So, and the presence is as well. So it's not like I'm cranking treble here to get that. I mean, this amp just has it, you know, and you can tame it or tailor it or whatever you want to do with the treble and presence knobs. Like on a lot of amps, I find that I have to push the treble to get that, especially on the drop G guitar, 7-string. But on this, as you saw, I didn't change any knobs. I just switched guitars and it was like, wow, that still sounds freaking amazing. Like I could still hear all the transients, all the pick attack, all the crunchy, crispy, awesome top end. So, yeah, this is one of those amps that you can switch guitars and switch tunings on stage and not have to go, wait, I gotta wait. You know, you don't have to do that. You just freaking switch and go. I don't know if that was the intent, but it happened. So, Scott Splawn, if you're watching, man, freaking great job, dude. Seriously, like, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing amplifier. It really is. You know, I'm ashamed of myself for walking by it so many times in the store. I'm like, Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll try one of those. And then Matt today, he's like, yeah, you got to take that home, man. Trust me, you'll like it. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I guess Matt knows me better than I know myself, right? And for you guys that are on the fence and you're looking for something different, you know, you're kind of like, oh, I want an EVH. No disrespect to the EVH. Amazing amps, freaking awesome. But if you want something that's kind of, in my opinion, in that territory, but it's got its own thing going on, seriously, man, look no further than the Splawn Nitro. Holy crap. Like, I think it would do it for you. It's a little bit drier, but... And I don't like super dry amps. Like, I don't prefer them. I've played the VHTs, and I think they're great, and I understand why people like them. Doesn't exactly do it for me with how dry they are. This is like an in-betweener. It's wet enough and dry enough. It's like best of both worlds. It's got just enough dryness in it to be articulate and have that really fat attack on the top end and very like extremely like somebody's shining a spotlight on all your pick attacks, you know. But it's wet enough where it feels great, you know. It doesn't feel super dry, you know. So it's got just the right balance of everything, you know. So yeah, like I said, if you're looking for something that's got its own thing going on, there you go, man. What kind of pedal? Super Juggernaut says, what kind of pedal do you recommend for the Splawn or EVH amps? OD pedal. So I use either the Horizon Devices Precision Drive or the KSR Aries. They're both amazing. It just depends on what I'm craving that day. Like if I want something a little juicier, I'll go with the KSR Eros. I said Aries, sorry, it's the Eros. But if I want something that's a little drier, I'll go with like the Horizon Devices Precision Drive. But the KSR, I can get it to sound really close to the Precision Drive, but I can't get the Precision Drive to sound like the Aries or Eros. Jeez, because the Eros has a lot more switches on it, and it allows it to get kind of wet or dry or in between. Like it really is a very versatile pedal. So it just depends on what you're going for. So if you want something that does a little bit of both, I'd get the Eros. I will say though, the that gate on the Precision Drive is really nice. It comes in handy. Like it's working right now, so it definitely comes in handy. But they're both great, and that's why I have them both, because it really depends on what I'm craving that day. So in fact, you know what I'll do? So I'm on the Precision Drive now. I'll play a riff on that, and I'll switch and play a riff on the KSR so you can hear the difference. Here we go. So the one I ended on was the Precision Drive. Yeah, the KSR is a little wetter. It's just got that wetness to it. It's like a drop of oil in your tone. It just lubes it up nice, and it's a little wetter. That's all I can say. It's a different kind of aggression. But like I said, if you flick a couple switches on it, it dries right up. So it really depends on what you're looking for. So I'd say either one would be great for you. I really think so. They're great pedals. Nice clean, Bruce Clark says, hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, the clean on this is great. I mean, it's not an afterthought channel. It's really good. So I didn't even dial it in. I just got everything kind of set, whatever. I didn't even dial in the clean channel. I just played it real quick and was like, okay, back to the fun stuff when I was setting it up today. So, but yeah, it's a good clean channel. Nothing wrong with it. Brad Shimke, what's happening, man? He says, I think we need to have a Have the Nitro with the combination of your Zilla cab and my Poltergeist amplification 1x15 extension cab. That way, the neighbors will appreciate it. What do you say, Dr. Chugs? Hell yeah, man. I think my whole neighborhood would appreciate it, right? That would be awesome. Brad Shimke, holy crap, drop G. Yeah, man, drop G. It's nasty. But it sounds great on this amp, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't flub. It doesn't flub out at all. So again, if you guys are like into the drop tunings and you really want to get an amp that just loves that, this is really it for you. Like this, slam it with an overdrive and get your drop tune guitar and put it in front of it and don't look back. I mean, this thing will do it all day. It sounds absolutely amazing. There's just tons of attack on this amp. If there's anything that I would say is the attack I've not run into an amp with more attack than this. Just a great amount of that. And the low end, you know, sometimes you get an amp that's got a lot of attack but it's thin on the bottom and it's all attack and no low end. It's like, you know, this has both and a lot of both, and you can tame it or tailor it to your needs. Like again, I got the treble at 11 o'clock on here, and I got the resonance at 11 o'clock and the presence at 11 o'clock. Those aren't typical settings for me. Usually I'm at 1 o'clock on the treble, and the resonance is usually like 2 or 3 o'clock, and the presence is usually dead nut center. And on this amp, I'm backing stuff down. And it doesn't mean it has too much of that stuff. Because the thing is I'd rather have too much than not enough, or even just enough. Because just enough isn't good enough for me. Because just enough will get me through now, but as your tastes change and your ears change and you want more stuff, or you get into a room where it's bigger and you want more because you don't want your amp to disappear, having too much is great because now you can put more in, but having just enough is like, that's all you got. And having not enough is never good. So I always want more than what I need because, like I said, you can always back it off. So it drives me nuts when people say, oh, that amp's got too much gain for me. Well, turn the knob down. That car's too fast. Well, it's got a gas pedal. Just back off a little. I mean, what the hell? It always cracks me up when people, oh, that amp's got too much gain. Well, don't turn it all the way up then, dummy. You know, geez. You know, put it to your taste. I mean, I don't get that, you know. So just put it at, like I got it at 1 o'clock. Works great for me. I like it, and I like that little extra bit of saturation and fullness. And it seems like with this amp, the more gain you give it, the fuller it gets too. So it's not just like gain; it's more of a full saturated kind of thing. And all the gain's usable. Like even all the way up, it was like this isn't really all that muddy. So what does that tell you? That tells you that you can actually put the gain in spots where your eyes are not comfortable with. Because like on most amps, you're at like anywhere between 9 and noon, but on this amp you can go past noon and it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to, because every amp's got a different, you know, like the JP, the KSR, you know, the Engel, you know, the gains at 9 o'clock on all of those is different. You know, it's a different amount of gain. So you never go by what your eyes see. I always go by my hands and my ears. That's what I go by. Oh, Scott Fulmar, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. He goes, great amp, sounds amazing. Thanks for the review. You're welcome. You're more than welcome, dude. I love hanging out with you guys. This is a lot of fun. Matt Forrest, sounds killer. Great playing as always. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that very much. Super Juggawatt, it's got a good sizzle. It does. Like, it really does have a great sizzle to it. But it's like a crackle, you know? It's like, yeah, it's really aggressive and broken. It just sounds amazing, you know? All right, thanks for stopping by, Paul. Really appreciate it, man. Henry Guthrie, the resonance knob works backwards. All the way left has the most beef. All the way to the right tightens the bass response. Good to know. Good to know. All right, thank you. Jeff Cornell, you have room on that rack behind you. Yes, I do. And I'm considering it, man. I am considering it. I really am. What is the amp height? I don't know. I don't have a measuring tape with me. Yeah, it's a good question, man. I really don't know. Maybe 1.5 feet? Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure. What was I going to do? Resonance knob works backwards. Okay, let me try that. Give me a second here, guys. Thanks for the tip. So I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to go both ways. I'll start all the way to the right, and I'll go all the way to the left with it and see what happens here. Yeah, I'll have to check the mix later because in my in-ears, you know what I mean, it's hard to tell, but I'm feeling a lot of thump coming out of the cab here. So, yeah, it's got a ton of resonance, man. This amp is just huge. Guys, I'm not kidding you. If you're looking for something different, man, but it still sounds incredible, I would definitely consider this. I really would. I mean, I think it's fun to play, and it sounds great in the room. Like in the room, this thing just fills the room so much. And there's a lot of low end, but again, all your pick attack stuff does not get lost in the mix at all. Like it's freaking amazing, you know. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it says Splawn. It's a Splawn. What did I say? A Splawn Nitro. That's what it is. Josh says you can find them used for about $1,300. New is $2K plus depending on what you add on as far as mods and switches. Yeah, see that's what's so cool about getting something too from Scott Splawn is that he'll add stuff. You know, like these boutique guys are great to work with because you can. Not only do you get a boutique amp, but you get your version of it. So you can just say, hey, can I have this and that and this and that? And it'll, yeah, for a little bit of money or whatever it is, they'll put it on for you. So you can order a custom amp from them. And I think that's just really cool to be able to do that. That's just an awesome feature to have. Rocks Radio. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, Ricky? He says you got a metric ton of crap. Oh yeah, dude, you know the half of it. I got the other half upstairs. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here, and it's all protected by my good buddy Sig, if you know what I'm saying, and a couple of other of his friends. Let's see here. Yeah, I do have a lot of stuff here, man. I love it though. This is kind of where I live. I love doing this stuff. So let me do a couple more mixes for you guys, and we can hang out for a bit. And tell me what you want me to do with the amp too. Like if there's any other, you know, little tire kicking kind of things you want me to do, I'll be happy to do that stuff for you guys because that's what this is all about here. I'll do some of the typical mixes because I just think that this amp deserves to be played in them because I just want to hear what it sounds like in them myself. I haven't even warmed up on those. I don't even know what it'll sound like with them, but I want to try it. So this is my standard tuned 7-string. You know, let me do a couple riffs on this one for you. Good Lord, that thing is just stupid. I'm not kidding you guys. I know I sound like a broken record here, but the room and the mics just aren't doing it justice. The room, this thing sounds incredible. Here we go. Let's just do a standard kind of. Let me see if this mix is right. I didn't even check this one tonight. Bear with me a second. If it's good, I'll just keep going. If it's not, I'll stop and adjust it. Holy crap, did you hear that? Like when I was doing the palm mutes? Dude, that's the thickest, most aggressive palm muting crap that I've ever done in my life. That was freaking stupid. I'm going to play it without the mix so you can hear that. That was just ridiculous. Hang on. Alright, I'm going to do that mix again, because that was so good, I got to do it twice. Holy cow, man. Can you imagine double tracking with this on a mix, like in the studio, double tracking, how thick and how meaty all of your palm muting kind of riffs would be? I mean, I've never played an amp that does what this does. I'm blown away. 1 second, let's do it again because it just has to be done again. Oh my god. I just want to do this all day. That's all I want to do now, just to hear that. That is the thickest, most ridiculous kind of chugging I've ever heard in my life. I don't know, man. You're watching me fall in love with a Splawn right now. It's pretty ridiculous. Right now we're running towards each other in the meadow with butterflies and crap flying around everywhere. Born free. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's so freaking good. I've never heard an amp do what this does as good as this is doing it. I mean, I love all my amps. I love all of these, but they all have a couple of special qualities. And depending on my mood and my taste, I'll play that one that day. This is definitely killing it in the chug department and clarity. It feels good too. It's stringy. It's got that nice stringy, but a lot of amps that are stringy, they're thin. This one's not like that. It's thick and stringy, which is really weird. I don't know how he did that. It's Colonel's secret recipe, apparently, but it's really good. Thanks, Chad, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And all the effects tonight are coming to you live from my Line 6 Helix, and I'm using my own 4-cable method preset. It's on my website, and it's on Line 6's marketplace store as well. And I love this preset. Spent a lot of time making it, and the effects are great. I love the delays, the choruses, and the different other effects that I use, and it just sounds incredible. And it's switching and doing all kinds of cool stuff with the effects and everything tonight. So I love how this thing sounds. So I use my Helix pretty much every day. I'm going to do a video about that too. Let's see here. The Terror Beyond Splawn. Splawn. Hello from Texas. What's up, the Truly One? What's happening, buddy? Brad Shimke, I want you to buy this amp for me. Yeah, so you could visit it. Yeah, it'd be cool, man. That's a keeper for sure, Daryl says. What's up, Daryl? Yeah, it is. Like, seriously, if you have one of these amps, or if you're on the market for something and you just like, I don't know what to buy that. The Nitro's freaking stupid, and it's so different. It's so unique. You slam it with an overdrive and dial it in properly, which isn't hard to do, and you're off and running, man. I mean, it's an easy amp to dial in, and boy, does it pay you in dividends for the kind of music that, at least the kind of stuff I play. It's like, it's right there. It just does it. It freaking works, Jeff Cornell, I heard Gabriel and the heavens opened. It's crazy, man. It's nuts. This Jeff Cornell do it. He wants me to buy it. I'm telling you, man. The Terror Beyond. I told you that Scott made monster amps. No, you're right, dude. He does, man. I was talking to the Terror Beyond the other day about this. Scott's amps, and we were talking about them, and I liked the Quick Rod. I thought it was really good if you play that classic rock kind of stuff. It does it really well. But I'm a modern metal player, and I wanted something that did well what this does. But this does what this does about the best that it can be done, to be honest with you. I mean, the chugging and like the pick attack on this is like stupid. I'm serious. Like, the transients probably look like Godzilla's heartbeat, on the computer screen. It's ridiculous. Welcome to the Splawn family, my man, Henry. I know, man. It's tempting, man. It really is. I'm really, really tempted. They also have one that has like this B+ switch on the back. That's on the newer ones. My friend Tim Warner from Live Ready Sound, who also makes really good Kemper profiles, was telling me about that today. And I guess it changes the feel of the amp. I don't know how it does it. I don't know what it does. Maybe it adds a little sag or a little something. But the newer ones have that B+ switch on it. This one doesn't, but some of the newer ones do. And I guess it just changes the feel. Not how it sounds, just the feel a little bit. I wouldn't mind checking that out. But this thing just made my list of amps to buy easily. It's not even a question. I'm buying one of these. Whether it's tomorrow or within the next few months, it will happen. Mark my words, you will see a Splawn somewhere on my shelves, because this thing deserves to be purchased. It really does. What a fantastic amp. Seriously. Dust Devil, what power tubes are in the Splawn? Good question. It's got the big milk jugs, man. It's got the KT88s in the back. And I think he makes a EL34 version as well. But the KT88s, anytime somebody makes an amp with those, I want that version. I just think they're amazing, and I have them in my Ingle, and they're amazing. They're amazing tubes, and they're huge. So, but yeah, that's what it's got, and I got the KT88 version here, and I wouldn't go back on that at all. It's just killer. John Smith, the leads are super fat too. That's exactly what I want. out of an amp. Dang, yeah, the leads are amazing. You know, they really are. Let me do, I haven't played this one in a long time. See if I can still remember how to play it. Let me do this mix for you guys, and I'll get back with the comments. 1 second. Yep. The clarity. It's amazing how you can have that much aggression and that much attack and low end all at the same time, but still have that clarity. You know, it just, all your notes are just so clear and so crisp and clean, but just filthy and dirty and nasty all at the same time. It's just incredible. You know, I mean, thick. I guess thick and very much a lot of attack is what I would just have to say. Just brilliant job on this. I mean, these amps should be, seriously, they should be everywhere. I mean, if you play metal and you like the chug and you like those big fat kind of palm muty things and whatnot, I'm not saying it's just for those guys, but especially for those guys, you should have one of these. You really should. I can't believe how rewarding it is to play this right now. It's so rewarding. You know, that's why I'm playing mixes I haven't even warmed up on or sound check, because I don't care. I just want to play them. And here, what it's doing is just paying me back in dividends. Like, all the stuff that I'm doing and the clarity that I'm getting, it's just so rewarding to hear. And the thing is like, I got the gain, I just cranked it a little more. It's at 2 o'clock, well, just under 2 o'clock here, and it's still clear. You know, it's all usable so far. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to play that song again at 3 o'clock and see what that sounds like. Let's just see what we got here. Even at 3 o'clock, I got tons of clarity. So if you want more gain on this amp, go ahead and get it. You know, because like I said, like, gain on this amp at 3 o'clock is probably another amp at 11 o'clock. I can assure you that the gain at 3 o'clock on this amp is 11 o'clock on the Stealth red channel, for sure. I know that. Because I know I like a certain amount of gain, and this is really filling that need for me in these settings. And it just sounds great, man. I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I'm gonna buy one of these. I've only spent I probably spent an hour with it before I went live. That's it. And it was mostly like dial it in, check the mix, blah blah blah. And I was noticing things as I was playing. I'm like, man, this thing's freaking amazing. It's got a lot of cool stuff. And as I'm playing it live here with you guys, I'm like, dude, I'm just amazed. And I got the mids cranked. So let me do this. I got the mids at, well, they're not cranked. They got cranked compared to how I usually have them. They're at 2 o'clock. And it sounds great. It doesn't sound honky. It doesn't sound like, like that, that weird nasally thing that amps do with the mids. It sounds great. So I'm going to put them at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and all the way up, just to show you what the mids sound like. 1 second. Yeah, it's weird. The mid frequencies on this are really interesting. Very, very different than what I'm used to. It's usually when I get around 3 o'clock, I mean, it's just honky as hell, and it didn't do that here. Must be like a high mid as opposed to a low mid kind of thing. I don't know. Something really cool is going on with the mids, though. They're amazing. So, yeah, I'm seriously like going nuts over this thing right now. And like I said, wait till you hear it in the room. Holy crap, in the room, jeez, unbeatable. It's freaking amazing in the room. And that's the thing about texture. Let's talk about texture real quick. Some people like, oh, the amp's got, let me turn this fan off. Some people are like, man, that amp's just got too much aggression for me, or too much this or that. It's like, dude, you have to understand that, there we go. You have to understand that it's good. It's a good thing, because there's two reasons. In a mix, when you have, bass guitar, drums, possible keyboards, maybe another guitar player, you got vocals, backup vocals, stereo mix, you got all this stuff going on in the studio. All that texture is going to keep you from going, can you turn my guitars up? Can you turn my guitars up? Because if you turn your guitars up too high in a mix, I mean, what happens? They just kind of engulf the whole mix, and they just take over, because all those lower frequencies and all that other stuff come with it. But if you have tons of texture and all that great, crumbly, like awesome top end and that texture up there, you don't need to turn your guitars up to hear the articulation of your riffs, especially if you're doing all that fast kind of stuff, like some of the stuff I was doing earlier, the fast little exchanges here and there. You'll hear it, because that texture is what helps it cut through. Not only in the studio, but on stage. Like when you're on stage, you got the room and the noise is bouncing off the walls. I mean, it's so easy for an amp that's like smooth, like, oh, my amp's so smooth. Yeah, it's also invisible. Your amp's invisible. There's a reason why they give it that crumbly top end and that texture, or that dryness, or that little bit of wetness, or whatever it is that they do. Because in a mix, in a live situation, or at a studio, people are going to hear your amp. And the worst thing that an amp builder ever wants to hear from a customer is, your amp doesn't stick out on a mix. I'm lost on stage. No one can ever hear me. Or when I go to a studio, the engineer's always like, we have to reamp it through something else, dude. Your amp's just not cutting it. That's the kiss of death for an amp maker. And I feel like Scott Splawn woke up in the middle of the night at like 4 a.m. with a nightmare and cold sweats going, I don't want one of my amps to not be heard in a mix. And he went downstairs and got a pot of coffee, and like started designing an amp that would never make him lose sleep again. And this is it. This amp will never not stick out in a mix. And it articulates your riffs, and it doesn't hide your mistakes. It actually points them out, but it also rewards the things that you do well. It's like that perfect balance. Like if you go with amps that are too dry, it's like you feel a little insecure playing it. I don't feel insecure playing this at all. I feel encouraged. Like I want to play this. And I want to play things well, because, man, when you nail those riffs, it's like, you almost want to fist bump the amp afterwards. Like, yep, we did that. It's that good. Like, holy crap, it's that good. Like, seriously. I'm buying one. Yeah, I'm not kidding you guys. I'm buying one. This amp is stupid. It's stupid good. It's probably going to sit right next to the Boogie up here. And I'll be doing shootouts with this and other amps for you guys too. So you can hear all that, what I'm talking about, you know. So I'll definitely do that for you guys as well. And tomorrow maybe I'll shoot it out with another one of my amps here, so you can hear what I'm talking about with the texture. You can hear them side by side to another amp and go, I know what he's talking about now. I can hear that breakup, you know, that more texture, that more breakup. So it will stand out in the mix very well, whether it's on stage or in a studio. And again, can you imagine 2 tracks of this, or even quad tracking with this in the studio? Like, all that texture. Oh my God, your guitars are going to sound huge. And it's going to make you sound like a better guitar player too, right? Because all your palm mutes, all the quick little riffs that you do and everything are just going to really stick out big time. No one's ever going to say, oh, I couldn't hear that riff you did. Because the thing is a lot of times in the studio, especially if you're an articulate player, you do a lot of really articulate things in the studio, it doesn't stick out because it's not a volume thing. It's basically the amp isn't articulating what you're doing very well. And that's why the drier tones are actually preferred by some guys that play like that. But for me, those are too dry. Like the VHT stuff, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Great stuff. I understand why people play it. It's a little dry for my taste. This is about as dry as I want to go. It's right at the edge, but it's still got enough wetness to it that I'm really happy and I feel secure with it. So I'm telling you, man, oh God, this is an unsung hero right here. This is one of those amps that I mean in my circles I don't hear about it at all. Like I've heard, yeah, the Quick Rod Nitro, or the Splawn Nitro. I've heard of it, but I never really heard a lot about it. And that's why I'm shouting its praises tonight, because it deserves it. Like, seriously, I would consider it big time. Vox Pathfinder says, Jarrod, how do you control the volume? Last week you had a YJM on 10. Do you have a power break or isolation booth? No, my cab's right there. It's like 96 or so decibels in here tonight. It's loud as hell. But I use the Helix in 4-cable method, and once you do that, the Helix actually acts as a volume, a master volume. So I can adjust the volume with my Helix. So that's a great thing with the Helix, guys. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for a pedal board to work with your amp, this thing has worked with every amp. Every amp I plug into it, I get great effects, control switching, you know, the volume, the master volume. So that way you can crank your amp. I mean, dude, I got the volume at noon on this amp right now. It's at freaking noon. Now, it's still loud, but if I bypass the effects loop on this amp, it would blow my freaking head off. I'd be deaf because I got in-ears. It would just kill my ears. So I use the Helix and I adjust the volume. I attenuate there. It's so nice to be able to do that, and you can have that really nice, like, hot amp. Like, you can run it hot and saturate it and get those tubes cooking and get that loud volume without having the loud volume. Like, you can have the loud settings without the loud volume. It's almost like a poor man's attenuator. Honestly, it really is. So I highly recommend the Helix for cable, you know, for your effects pedal board. It's just so versatile. There's so much that it does. I use it every time I'm live, except for maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. I use this pedal board every day. I use the Helix every freaking day, you know? And you can get some cool additives to it from Gear by Seba from Chad Boston. I got like the cover, and I got like the foot buttons, you know, the toppers and all that. You can get all that from him. But Gear by Seba, CEBA, and there's some good stuff on it. So the Helix is a great piece of gear. It really is. Oh, Darren says his Quick Rod has the B+ switch. It adds sag, and it acts like a Variax. Splawn has said it like the EVH Brown sound idea. Oh, gotcha. It absolutely gives the Quick Rod the feel. Oh, cool. Yeah, so that's what it is. And these have it. Like this one doesn't, but the new ones, like when you buy like the newer ones, he adds that to it. And it actually, you know, it's a feature. It's the B+, I think it's a B+ switch or button or something. Yeah, it's a switch. So, yeah, check with that. Make sure you get that. But this one doesn't have it, but I'm very happy with the way it feels and sounds. I don't have a problem with it, but I wouldn't mind exploring that B plus switch either. Let's see here. Let's the old blues, bootylicious. Yeah, this thing is, man. It's a great amp. Super Juggerwatt, fantastic show, man. I have to go, but I will definitely be back, brother. Thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for the kind words. We're here every Wednesday night at 8 and Sunday nights at 7. So, and I'll be, hey guys, what amp do you want me to shoot this out with? I want to do the 100. You know, I got to do a 100 watt or else it wouldn't be fair. But I got the Boogie, the Mark II C Plus. I got the Ingle Savage. I have the Mesa Dual Rec Roadster. I have the Cherrytone, and I have the Kraken. So any one of those, I'll shoot it out with those for you guys. Christmas in October. That's right, man. Hey, what's up, Paul? He says, sounds killer as always. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a killer amp, man. Vince Vegas, love the chug and the palm mute. Yeah, dude, thank you. It really sings in those departments. It just sounds incredible. I can't get over how good it is. Seriously, it's really freaking good. It's so rewarding to play. Like, it just makes you want to chug all day. Like, you chug like a frat kid at a frat party, you know? Shoot it with the Savage. Okay, that's definitely something I could do. Absolutely, like channel 4, right? So I could do channel 2 on this against channel 4 on the Savage. That would be yeah, they're both KT88 amps, right? Yeah. You know what? That's a good idea. I think I'll do that. I think that'll be a good shootout. The Cherrytone, Terror Beyond says, yeah, I could probably do that. Maybe I could do like a 3-way shootout or something like that. You know, that would be fun. Savage, Cherrytone. See, the Cherrytone definitely doesn't have as much gain or aggression. It's a great amp. But I think this would be more aggressive. But I mean, I wouldn't mind shooting it out against it to show how, you know, they kind of complement each other. Like the Cherrytone next to this will show how aggressive this is, and this next to the Cherrytone might show the characteristics of that too. Like that, they're not opposites, but they're different enough to show off, you know, what they both have. Sean Casey, what's up, buddy? He says, shoot it out with the Savage. Yeah, I think the Savage will definitely, minimally, I'll do that. Yeah. And if I have time, I'll do the other ones. Henry Guthrie says, thanks for doing this. Jarrod, Splawn deserves the love. Keep up the amazing playing and the awesome channel. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I definitely will. I love doing this because I get to discover awesome stuff too. You know, it's fun for me as well. You know, I always have a good time doing this, you know. The Boogie, hey, what's up, you big dummy? You know, if I have it, I got tomorrow off, so maybe I'll do several shootouts, right? I'll shoot it out against a couple different amps, you know, and see what's what. You know, I think that'd be kind of fun. And one hell, sorry if I'm reading your name wrong. He's asking what Cherrytone head do you have? I got the molecular, and I actually bought it from the Terror Beyond. So it's a great amp. I love that amp. It's really good. Yeah, that's definitely a consideration. I could do that. You big dummy says, "Hey bro, Guitar World has an October 31 ending contest. Submit your 3-minute best. I bet you win." Oh, I didn't know they had that. Thanks for the heads up. I'll see what I could do. You know, I've never won a contest in my life with anything. It's just one of those things. You know, I never win anything, so I gave up a long time ago. But I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it out. You know, I wouldn't mind. I'll have to look that up. Thanks for the heads up on that. Let's see here. Shootout with a 90s Marshall valve state. this would probably kill that in the aggression department for sure. It would absolutely slaughter the Marshall valve state in the aggression department at least. But I mean, again, it's just a very aggressive amp. Yeah, dude, see, your big dummy says, yeah, dude, put in one of your original songs. Check out that issue. I'll send it to you via email. Oh, thanks, dude. If you could do that, I would really appreciate it. I want to check that out. Yeah, thank you. I would appreciate it. Because I wouldn't mind looking into that. And why not use the Splawn, right? Because I'll stand out at least for having something, different, right? Yeah, let me see here. All right, so minimally, I'll shoot it out with the Engel Savage. I'll do that. I'll film it tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be up tomorrow, but I'll film it. I got a lot of episodes I'm working on right now, so let's see, what guitar do I have? I got the red one. Let's see here. Let's do. I'm going to try Time Flies. I haven't really warmed up on that one, but we'll give it a shot. Boy, nothing like dropping your pick in the middle of a song. I'm like, oh my god. Woo, sweaty hands. Sorry about that, guys. I totally crapped the bed on that one. And then when I grabbed it, I grabbed the wrong side and I was playing with like a dull side. Well, hey, now my haters got a reason to hate me even more. Why not? I just handed it to them. That's one thing about doing live shows, man. Every once in a while, stuff goes wrong, and you're like, yeah, whatever. A couple of years ago, I probably would have freaked out, but I don't care anymore. It's like, whatever. Oh, man. Let's see here. Big Dummy, the song is a winner right here. A beauty. Oh, yeah, and then I crapped all over it. Maybe I should do it again. You know what? I'm going to do that one again because that was terrible. Give me a second. That was awful. Watch me even do it worse this time. All right. Dry the hand off. Dry the pick off. How was the mix? Before I go, how was the mix? I want to make sure the mix was good. I think it was all right. Sean Casey, Splawn loves Time Flies, and it sounds awesome. Oh, cool. Then I'll just do it. I'll just do it again. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I totally dropped my pick. I'm going to have this one ready just in case. All right. Here we go. was better. All right, cool. It's weird because when I'm doing the tapping, I got my pick right here, you know, and then I come up here, and then I got to flip the pick up and then grab the pick and then do the rest of it at the same time. And sometimes I flick the you know, the pickup selector and grab the pick and it falls out of my fingers. So that's always a tricky spot for me. Now I'm going to freak out about it even more because it actually, I dropped it live, so then that makes it even harder for me, but whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to hear this back. Like, I'll timestamp this, but I can't wait to hear the episode back and listen to all the mixes, because I have a feeling that this amp really shined tonight in these mixes. It really shined big time. I played a lot of different stuff. I played heavy stuff, like genty almost kind of stuff, tight riffy kind of stuff, some solos. You know, that Time Flies is kind of like a throwback kind of 80s-y kind of song, like Satriani kind of thing. Proggy stuff. I mean, so that's why I did so many mixes tonight, because I want to hear how this amp sounds and all that. I'm not kidding you guys. What I'm hearing in my ears right here is just, it's glorious. It's so freaking good. And you really have to have your game on with this amp too and play well. I mean, it's not because it's you know, again, too dry. It's just, it's very clear. There's a lot of great articulation here. But it also doesn't make me feel insecure, if that makes sense. So I have this great clarity, but also security to go with it, because I'm an insecure player. I really am, and I need an amp that will kind of help me out a little bit here and there, if that makes sense. And this amp does. It does both. It helps me out and gives me that clarity that I like. So it was good, Sean said. Thank you. Thank you. You Big Dummy says, send it in by October 30th. Trust me, the winner. Yeah, dude, I'll check it out. Please send me that link, and I'll look at it, because, I mean, I could just sit down here and record some stuff and send it in. I wouldn't mind doing that at all, and I really appreciate the heads up. I wonder what you win. $1 million? That would be nice. Let's see. Scott Fulmer, what brand of pick do you use? Typically, I use the Gravity. This is the Gravity, what is this? The Sunrise Big Mini. It's the 3 millimeter. These are fat. These are really big picks, but they got the holes in them. So typically I don't drop my picks. I rarely do, but tonight I did, and it wasn't because the pick was slippery. It's because every once in a while when I'm hitting that pick selector and then changing from here to here at the same time, I lose my pick. It just happens. But these picks are great. I've been using these for about 2.5, 3 years now, and they're awesome. I love them, and I get the unpolished edge, so it's really rough, and it gives me that scrape that I like so much. This pick here, I'm not kidding you, is 2 years old. If that says anything to you, this is a 2-year-old pick, and I play a lot, you know. And yeah, it's not as sharp as it used to be, but it's still sharp enough for what I do. I mean, when I grab a new one, I always test them like this to see if it'll poke my skin a little bit. And the new ones are sharper, and I'll feel that poke. But this is still, it's still usable. That's why I won't throw it out. It's like it's still got plenty of use on it. So, you know, and then when I go in the studio, I'll grab a brand new one so I get that extra little bit of scrape, you know. But they're great picks. They really are. CS says, I love my Nitro and my Quick Rod more than any amps I've ever owned. I can see why, dude. I really can. Like, this amp's really killing it tonight. It's doing a great job. Vince Vega, speaking of dry, it needs to be shot out with the Omega Ampworks. Oh, dude, I've been talking to Mike, and he's trying to get a bunch of amps out the door. You know how it is with getting parts and stuff right now because of the whole pandemic. But he said as soon as he gets one that I can use, he's going to bring it over, because he's local. He's like an hour away from me, if that. So I will definitely have Mike. I want to have Mike on with me too, so we can actually talk, and like he can tell me about the amp and answer questions and stuff. I'd love to have him on with me. So that'll be a special night. I'd love to have the Omega amp here, and that's definitely one for the shelf one of these days too. I want to get one of those. See here, Henry Guthrie, is it your favorite modded Marshall style amp so far? That's a good question. The Cherrytone is amazing. It sounds great. But if I want to get a lot of aggression and a lot of texture, I would have to say it's a top contender. I would say probably, trying to think, what else do I have that's a modded Marshall? Because it's like, I don't, it's a lot of times I don't read all about all that stuff, so I don't want to misspeak, but right now it's killing it, and I would say that is definitely one of my favorites, probably top 2, you know, out of the ones that I've played, and that's with me not knowing exactly how many of them I play that are actually modded Marshalls, but this doesn't give me that feel of a Marshall that, like, you know how Marshall's got the one I played a couple weeks ago. Was it last week I had the Marshall on here? I was very surprised at how good that sounded, how saturated it was, and how full it was compared to some of the other Marshalls that I played that were really empty. And they're just really bright and empty. There was like, they had a little bit of low end and a lot of top end and nothing in between. They're hollow. But that one was great. The JVM, that one was really good. It was probably the best Marshall I've ever played. Now this would be that, but way more texture. Just way more. I mean, that one had a lot of saturation, and it had some aggression. This has tons of aggression, and it has probably a little less saturation because it's a little drier, but the texture in this thing is just, it's like rubbing your hands over the highest grit, or the thickest, like roughest grit sandpaper ever, and you can feel the grit in there, and it's just lots of texture. I love it. Gunnerman, he said, what has more gain, the EVH or this or the EVH Stealth? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. I would say the Stealth red channel does. It's got more gain. Because like this right now at 2 o'clock is where the red channel is at 11 o'clock gain wise. But the blue channel on the Stealth, I have to turn that thing all the way up to get what I want out of it because it's got a lot less gain. So this has way more gain than the blue channel. But here's the thing though, it's got plenty of gain for me. Though I have to turn it up to 2 o'clock to get what I want, but to do solos and rhythms, which is fine. I still got plenty of headroom. I'll never have this all the way up. The problem I have is if I buy an amp and it's like a 1-channel high gain amp and I got to turn it all the way up to get what I need out of it to do rhythms and leads or whatever, that worries me because it was like I was saying earlier, it's like it's got just enough. Just enough is not enough because there will be days when your tastes change. You're in a big room and you're kind of like, man, an amp feels kind of, you know how you get in a bigger room and your amp feels wimpy? Like, you're like, man, it just feels like there's not enough saturation for this room because it dissipates. So you crank your gain up a little more to fill the room with that aggression. Well, if it's already all the way up, what are you going to do? See, with this amp, there's still plenty of headroom. I can go into a big room and put it at 3 o'clock or 4 or maybe even all the way up. I don't think I'd ever do that, but I'm just saying, like, if I needed to, it's there. So it definitely has way more than the blue channel. But when you compare it to the red channel on the EVH, EVH is at a lower setting than this, but this still has, again, plenty of headroom. And I think it's more aggressive. Honestly, I think the texture on this is just so thick. And because the EVH 100 watt is great. I loved it. It breathed a really good fire. But it was more saturated than this is more texturized, if that makes sense. You know, I know they keep beating the word texture to death, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but there's just so much here. And it really stands out in the mix, whether it's live or in the studio. So you'll hear it when I compare it. You'll definitely hear that. Scott Fulmar, thanks for the pick info. Did I send you a picture? I'm sorry if I don't remember. I've been having a crazy week, man. And if I did, you're welcome. I've literally been burning out of both ends all week, so it's been crazy. You Big Dummy says I got to get one. it's a, you know, Mike makes great amps too. That's what's so nice about all these boutique amp makers, is especially the ones that make the affordable ones. I mean, this is affordable. It's like $2,000, and it's like one guy was saying, you can get them around 1,300 used all day long, and that's a great deal on a nice boutique amp. I mean, because some of these boutique guys, and you know, I'm not ragging on them, but some of them are really expensive, and you know, I get it. It is what it is. But Scott seems to be in that department of like, I want to make amps that are awesome and that are affordable for people, you know, but still have that boutique quality and feel to them. And it's cool. Like, you can't call Mesa or EVH or any of them companies and say, yeah, can you put this and that switch on there? They're going to be like, no, we don't do that stuff. This isn't a custom shop, you know. And no offense to them, I get why they can't, because they're too big. But with these boutique guys, you can. I can actually, like, if I ordered one from Scott, I bet you I can. I don't know what options he has, but I'm sure I could pick from several, and have that. Same thing with the Cherrytone stuff. You can call Nick and say, or email Nick actually, because he's in Malaysia. But you can say, hey, I need this or that, and he'll put it on there for you. Really easy to work with. These guys are fun to work with. They're awesome guys, and the thing that's cool is, like, if you get, like, you know, the Cherrytone or a Splawn or something like that, and if you get a couple of custom modifications done to it, it's like you're the only one that probably has that. So wherever you go, you're the only one that has that amp and sounds like you. So that's pretty cool, you know. Let's see here, Vox Pathfinder. Can't you fix an amp's gain if it's not enough with a distortion pedal in front? No, you don't want to do that. You want like preamp distortion. You don't want to shove distortion in front of a preamp that's already distorted, and then, nah, I wouldn't do that. I would just get a different amp. You know, it's a good question, but I would never do that. That's the thing. Like, overdrive pedals are not distortion pedals. That's a big misconception that I'm going to cover this week with my gain episode. Overdrive pedals are not distortion pedals. And I know you're not saying that, but I'm just saying that, you know, like, even a good overdrive can't make an amp have more gain unless you crank the gain on the overdrive, and it's still not enough, you know. Oh, he meant pick info. Oh, okay. Guitar pick info. Yeah, go to Gravity Picks and get their unpolished edge picks, and they have tons to choose from. They have different shapes, sizes, thicknesses, everything, and man, they make good picks. They really do. Seriously, Scott's a great guy. He makes awesome stuff, so I highly recommend them. They're really good. And get the ones with the holes. They have ones with, like, the big hole in the middle, or the ones with a bunch of holes. You probably can't see it. Bunch of holes, or ones with no holes in them. But the ones with the holes are great because they do stay in your grip really well. The Terror Beyond. Scott is amazingly cool. UPS dropped my Plexi when I sent it to him and broke the shell. Ouch! Scott fixed the shell for me for free because he hated that they broke it. Wow, that's what I mean. When you're dealing with, like, the amp builders that do the boutique stuff, and they're kind of a smaller company, what's great is there's a lot of passion with these guys, and they really love what they do, and there's just a ton of passion there, and they're small enough where they can spend the extra time with you. You might pay for a few things, but you know, it's worth it because you're getting you know, personal care from somebody who's doing custom stuff for you. So it's awesome, you know. Yeah, thanks for clarifying on that, Daryl. I was like, picks. I don't remember saying picks, but I get it now. Thank you. Let's see here. The Terror Beyond. Oh, I read that. Wine Dog 1184. You can also bypass the amp's preamp by using your effects return with a distortion pedal and just use the amp's power section. Yes, you can do that. That's actually a good thought. You can do that. You can run the distortion pedal into the power section, go into the effects return. You're right. But I'd rather have the amp's distortion because you can't beat preamp distortion. You know, it's just so awesome. You know. So, yeah, I mean, Scott Splawn, he's got to be a great guy to make an amp like this and to make it affordable. Yeah, there's some boutique companies out there, and God bless them. You know, they make really, really good stuff, but their prices are just ridiculous. And a lot of them, you get one channel, and you're like, Wow, $3,600 for one channel? Yeesh, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's made really well, but, you know, I can't fork out that kind of scratch for an amp that's just got one channel and maybe a couple switches on it. I mean, I need something that sounds amazing and I can afford, and I can show it to you guys, because a lot of people ask me, like, oh, can you do more, you know, like budget-oriented stuff? Honestly, this is a budget-oriented boutique amp without like having the budget-oriented parts and build quality in it. This is a boutique quality, high-end, awesome amplifier for a budget price. $2,000 for 2 channels that does all this and has that kind of aggression and that kind of tone and feel. And you know, it's got a couple switches on the back that you can augment things with. I love the overdrive 1 and 2. I ended up using overdrive 2 the rest of the night. The first part of the night I used overdrive 1. 2 is a little fuller. And to have that kind of aggression and fullness and texture, I mean, son of a bitch, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. You really can't. I mean, for $2,000, you know, guys like this should be rewarded with the sale, because, and Scott doesn't even know who I am. He's probably, you know, if he saw me at the, you know, at a restaurant, he wouldn't know who I was. I mean, so I'm not, and the reason why I say that is I'm not doing this because Scott flipped me a bunch of money and said, hey, man, say a bunch of nice stuff about me. I literally picked this from Motor City because Matt, the manager at Motor City, told me to take it home today and do an episode with it. Said, you're going to love this. I said, I highly recommend this amp for you. And he was 100% right. And I just think that Scott deserves to be rewarded with some sales, because, like, he's giving you a boutique, quality, awesome, custom type amp that's built very well and sounds incredible for a very good price. I mean, $2,000. You can't, seriously, find an amp that does what this does for $2,000, whether it's mass produced or boutique. Good luck, you know, especially boutique. This thing's incredible. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm buying one. I already made up my mind. I made up my mind. I'm buying a Splawn. Little Madonna for you there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get this, one of these. I don't know if it's going to be this one, or if I can order a custom one, but I'm definitely going to buy one. I'll get it through Motor City, though, because Motor City rocks. So anyways, I've been on for, wow, 2 hours. Wow, let me read a couple more comments. I'm going to get off here in a couple minutes, get some food. Jeff Cornell agrees Scott Splawn is a class act. There you go, guys. I mean, the build quality and the price right there should tell you everything you need to know about Scott Splawn. Definitely a class act if you're going to make an amp this sounds this good and charge like just a very fair, reasonable price for it. I think that's fantastic. I really do. You big dummy. Jarrod, your verbiage is ingenious. You can really word things. You can really word things, you heck ya. I appreciate it, man. You should see me when I'm doing like the recorded videos, though. As soon as I'm recording, I can't speak. I just turn into a buffoon. I don't know what happens, but when I'm live, I'm better. I got to start pretending I'm live. Maybe that'll help me. Let's see. Vox Pathfinder. I'm not convinced that tube preamp distortion is superior to solid state. I am 100% convinced that it is. It's 1,000 times better. Tube power and tube distortion is always going to be better, dude. Always. It's warmer, it's fuller, the saturation is fantastic. It's got more character. It's real. It's got a reactive feel. There's character there. I don't know, there's just something that's just an intangible that's there with the tubes, man. I used to not value it as much as I do now, but when you have all these amps around you and you play them on a daily basis and you shoot them out, you really do get to know the differences between them and appreciate them. I've never played an amp like this, ever in my life. And it's not just the power section, it's the preamp section with the tubes and the circuits. And I'm telling you, like, this is a special amplifier. I've never in my life played anything like this. This is a unique, very unique moment for me tonight playing this amplifier. You know, that's why I'm buying one, because it really stood out to me. You know, it's a standout amp, and it deserves to be praised more. And I just think these should be out in the wild everywhere. They're just, and they're affordable, so why not, right? So yeah, I can definitely tell you it's good. Let's see. Is it Tech Death Hippie? I got an XFX, and in no way can it compare to my Wizard Tube amp. Oh yeah, you got a Wizard, bro? Yeah, I want to get one of those on here. Yeah, they just don't compare. I did the modeling stuff for a while, and it was fun. And I think modeling does a great job. I think the KEMPER does a great job. But there's no substitute for a real amp. The KEMPERs and the Helixes and the XFXs and all those things, they do a good job at what they do. But I'll always prefer an amp over any one of those things. Always. Always, always, always. It will never change for me. I'll always prefer an amp. Now, the thing I love about my Helix, again, is that I can pair it with any amp, and it has great effects, great control, switching, routing. I get the master volume control with it when I run it 4 cable. I mean, it's just a killer product for that. So I prefer to use the Helix that way. And I feel like that's the best way to use the Helix. I think that you're getting more out of it when you use it that way, because it handshakes with all the amps that I plug into it. It's a perfect match every time. So, but yeah, you can't compare any digital product to an amplifier. I think they're good for getting the job done. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got this little stage or this quick flight gig or whatever that I got to do, and yeah, it's great to have them for that. They do a good job. They really do. But when it really comes down to it, if I'm writing and I really want something that inspires me, like this will inspire you to play a song or to write a song. There is not a digital product out there that will inspire you to write a certain way like an amp will. Like the texture and all the crazy stuff that this amp's doing right now, I'll play it long enough, and then pretty soon I'll write something with it, because I just love how it sounds when I'm playing that certain thing, and I'll play it more, and then it'll evolve into a song. I guarantee you, like, that's what'll happen with me. All these amps have inspired certain songs out of me, because they do a certain thing, and they inspire me to play a certain way, which makes me write a certain way. That's the beauty of the amplifiers, is they inspire you. You know, the other products out there, they're great, and and you appreciate them for being convenient and quick and easy, and they can be good writing tools as well when they have loopers and stuff on them. It's all great, but nothing will ever inspire you or feel as good as a real amp. It just won't. You know, I run a full circle with it all, and I can tell you that. You know, and again, I love the digital stuff. I have it right here, but I use it for, I think, with the best way is to pair it with, these amps, which is a great testament to the Helix, because it's been around for 5 years and it still works perfectly for me. I use it every single day, and I appreciate it. Let's see here. Catch up to you guys. Jarrod Rouch, what's up, man? He says, hey, Jarrod, late to the party, just got done playing myself. We'll have to watch tomorrow. Oh, yeah, thanks for being here, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, I'll timestamp it for you, too. Like, whenever I'm done, I get some food, I sit on the couch, and I timestamp everything. So if you just want to skip to all the mixes, I'll have that up for you, and I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait to listen back to it, because I have a feeling I'm going to love how this amp sounds in all the mixes, Let's see here. Yeah, so let me do a couple more riffs for the guys that are just getting here. And then I'm going to close out and get some food. So let me just do a couple riffs here so you guys can hear it again. I don't know, just stupid riffs off the top of my head, but yeah, at least you get a chance to hear it. Okay, guys. Oh, Jim Siebens here. What's happening, man? He says, tube overdrive's pedals tend to be more of a gimmick than anything else. 99% don't have the high enough plate voltage to sound like a tube. Ah, that's an interesting point there, mister. Yeah. I just use the Horizon Devices Precision Drive or the Eros, the KSR Eros, and I'm happy. These pedals are amazing. They slam the amps really well, and they sound awesome. Oh, absolutely, Jarrod. I love doing the timestamps. That way people can skip around and hear everything, and just just the facts, man. Right? That's what everyone. Just the facts. Give me the facts. So I'll do that for you. And most of my live streams are timestamped. So let's see. Check here. Oh, you guys are talking about somebody who's real eccentric. I don't know who that would be. Yeah, let's see here. Aaron Green. Okay, so I'm starting a cab search, and I'm leaning towards a 212 El Nico creamback and vintage 30 loaded cab, possibly a 1x12 redback. Any thoughts? Good question, and thanks for being here. So I have the Zilla, and I have on one side I have the vintage 30, and on the other side I have a redback, and that thing sounds amazing. So I really like that cab. If you're looking for something like it's kind of custom, go to Zilla and see what they have. Dude, I'm telling you, man, they make great cabs. That thing sounds huge. I love how it sounds, and it looks great. It's all covered up with all my guitars now, but I have the Wine Croc Tolex on it, and it feels great. It feels like croc skin. And yeah, and it looks great. It's just a killer cab. It's custom. It's exactly what I wanted. And they did a great job on it. The fit and finish, everything, start to finish, was great. And they got it to me a lot quicker than I thought. So call Paul Go over there or email him and order something, man. I'm telling you, they do a really good job. So if you're looking for a custom cab, I highly recommend Zilla. They're amazing. I got the Fat Boy. You can get the Fat Boy, the Super Fat Boy. There's all kinds of choices you can make. You can choose your own Tolex, the color of the Tolex, the grill cloth, kind of handles, speakers, like everything. It's crazy how much you can do with those. So yeah, you'll like it. Oh, the hippie, he says, we got an amp made by the hands that made the Angus and Dimebags. Oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to have to get some food here, guys. I am starving. I'm doing the keto thing, and I get hungry, like, pretty quick now. I got to lose 15 more pounds, and I'll be back to my fighting weight. I can't wait, man. But anyways, well, guys, seriously, let me turn this fan off here. I know that there's a lot of other things you guys can do on these evenings, and you can watch TV or movies, hang out, do whatever, but you choose to be here. And I'm not kidding you. It means a lot to me. It really does. And I'm just a dude playing guitar, and I'm just thrilled to death that you guys stop by here and hang out with me. I'm honored to have you here. I mean that. It really means the world to me to hang out with you guys, and I really appreciate the fact that you guys came here and hung out, and I appreciate the comments, the compliments, the kind words, the advice, the things that you shared with me, the super chats, and I just appreciate you guys being here and having conversations with me and each other. And I can't say it enough. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here. I look forward to this every week. I really do, and I'm excited about hanging out with all you guys. So I appreciate it, and I hope it's always worth it. It's always worth it for me, and I hope it's always worth it for you guys to stop by and hang out and check out whatever I'm whatever I'm doing each week. And I always try to give you guys the best content that I can. You know, I got new mixes coming. I know I say that a lot, but I don't play them until I'm confident playing them live and I can write the solos and all that stuff for them. But I am working on it. Tomorrow I'll shoot the Splawn out with the Ingle Savage. And if I got time, I'll shoot it out with maybe the Chariot Tone or something else that I got here. Why not, right? So you guys can see what they sound like and compare them. So it'll be one of those no talking videos. I'll just play a couple mixes, couple riffs, you know, with the overdrive on and off like I always do. You know, you guys know what I do. And you guys can hear them for yourself and make an educated decision, you know, based on what you hear. So, again, thank you so much for being here. Every day's a gift. Thank you for spending part of yours with me. I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys all have a great night. And I look forward to seeing you again on Sunday night. I'll be here with Carrie. And we'll hang out with you guys again. And who knows what we'll have to talk about. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. God bless you guys. I will see you all very soon.